Hello, Senior Stoner fan. Just a real Senior Stoner back at you for your Source Bolt and Magic Flight Orbiter Diamond Dab of the Day. Hello, everybody. Today is Sunday. Thanks for joining me. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, you know what to do. Subscribe, send a like, and I respond to all those comments. Let's get started with today's topic. Learning. How do we learn new things? Let's discuss. Well, we tend to think about gaining new skills like we think about winning the lottery. Boy, it would sure be nice to learn that skill. Gee, I think if all I could do with those new skills and abilities, but the odds of achieving this are so small, I'm gonna pass. You see, whether you want to learn a new subject, gain a new skill, or just enhance the ones you already have, some of the things we're going to discuss are going to really help you. First thing you might want to do is ditch your existing learning style. Are you a visual learner? Are you a kinesthetic learner, an auditory learner? Well, you're probably none of these. As much as we'd like to believe that we learn better in a certain cycle, the truth is there's little impact on our learning. So, the myth of learning styles does persist. It really depends on what you're trying to learn. So in an age when everything's available in the click of a button, there still are many ways to learn. The key is to interact with your information. Use multiple sources and don't stick to books alone. So, the world has changed out there. You also want to make learning more meaningful for yourself. The main reason why learning styles don't work as we knew them is that we learn things in terms of meaning. Finding meaning is our learning in the key. So we have to find what happens here is if you try to force yourself to memorize random facts, you're likely to forget them. In order to make learning stick, it's important to make real life connections in that learning process and see how it fits into the larger scheme of things. Well, the next time that you find yourself trying to learn something, maybe you'll be able to grasp the concepts more readily. Learn by doing. Humans are natural learners, and we learn best when we perform tasks we're trying to learn. No matter how good our grades were, most of our learning took place once we entered the workplace, because we started to apply what we learned. So, what happens? You got to study the greats. You got to study the people and the things that did it extremely well, and then practice. You know, if you're an aspiring writer, you probably hear over and over that the best way to write better is to read a lot of books, especially the classics. Well, take that advice a step further. When studying, it's important to have a passive exercise. That's right, it's a passive exercise. In order to gain from it, you need to apply that learning. So, a form of learning that can be applied to any skill, whether it's writing, speaking another language, or sports. Compare your work with that of experts in your field, and you're going to notice areas that need improvement. Remember to teach what you learn. One of the most surprising ways you can learn a new skill is to teach it to someone else. What do you think of that? Isn't that incredible? You don't have to be an education major to do this. All you got to do is try explaining what you're learning to friends and coworkers. If you're learning a new business software or a skill, ask your boss if you can make a presentation to the team. The results will surprise you because most people spend more time practicing things that they find difficult. Practice in itself is great, but if you're practicing things you know well, you're doing it wrong. In order to excel at a skill, you've got to push yourself out of your comfort zone and practice things you're not good at. That's the key for all of us. You see, the next time you sit down to practice a new skill, maybe step out of your comfort zone and challenge yourself. Concentrate on whatever is most difficult for you. And with time, you'll find you achieve a higher level of overall efficiency. Remember to take breaks. The brain has two modes, focused and diffused. For learning to happen, both modes are equally important. While in the focus mode, you're able to learn the nitty-gritty of a problem. In diffused mode, you're better able to see the big picture and bring it all together. Well, it's important to practice both of these. It's important to remember to test yourself. We all love tests in school, but do you know how to effectively test yourself? Turns out, testing's one of the best ways to boost learning, even if you're practicing on your own. Testing even beats out methods like rereading and reviewing. Why is testing so effective? Because it takes recall a step further. Recall shows how much of the material you remember, but testing shows how well you can use what you've learned. And isn't that the ultimate goal of learning? To use things? And you know what? We also need to find mentors out there. Mentorship is possibly the quickest way to take your skill to the next level, because a mentor will help you navigate your field by offering invaluable perspective and experience. Maybe initially look to friends or family or coworkers, but if you come up with no one, start branching out. Search your community, search your industry. It's really important to remember to be curious. Nothing stimulates us quite like curiosity. So, all in all, what we come down to is that we're learning every day. All in all, what we come down to is we all learn in different ways. It's a beautiful thing, but everybody does it differently. We've talked about this a lot, that people are like snowflakes. We're individuals. Well, so is the way you learn. So is the way you do a lot of things. But I want to thank you all for joining me today for this discussion about learning. Certainly are different ways to learn the same thing. Different people learn at different paces, different things, and different ways. Let's turn on our bolt and have a Magic Flight Orbiter dab of the day. Here we go. Thanks again for joining me. You know what to do if you enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button, send a like my way, and I respond to all those comments. Cheers, everybody. Look at that milk. Mother's milk. Remember, life is a learning experience. You learn every day. Have a great one, everybody. Thanks for joining the Senior Stoner.